what's up? My name's Danny,
And I am Marcus.
and we are the Veteran Locker Room Podcast. He's my bat that I met in the military back in Fort Sill, some lovely days,
Yeah.
and we just have to love football, and that's one of the reasons we kicked it off. Yeah,
Absolutely, man. But let's be honest with ourselves, though. Fort Sill was terrible. Terrible. Oh, my goodness. Flat plains and
yeah,
tornadoes
man.
is what we got at Fort Sill.
I was trying to be nice about that.
I'll be the bad guy. I'll be the bad guy.
Our
Oklahoma's the
4 o'clock.
armpit of America.
Yeah, where they have what's that bar out there? Scoots, where
Yes,
everyone goes
Scoots.
to.
Wasn't that what they're called? Scoots?
Scoots, man, and they got Susie's off the base and them happy ending haircuts. Man, good times, good times. So we got
Hey,
a lot
look.
of stuff lined up today. You want to tell them what we got on the schedule?
So first up, we're definitely going to touch on NFL real quick. The big news is obviously Joe Flacco being named the starter for the Browns, but then you have that battle going on between Shador Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, which is something that is huge. And then we have a few preseason games happening tonight, later tonight.
All right. So, like we said before, we hit in our introduction that we have some big NFL games going on, and one of those games is the Seahawks at Packers. What do you think about that one, Bat?
This is going to be a good game just simply because the big announcement that just came through was that I want to say it was like ESPN or CBS Sports, but the Seahawks just announced head coach Mike McDonald just announced that Jalen Milroe is going to start and play the entire game against the Packers, and I'm excited to see Milroe use his legs. I'm
That
excited.
that that's like John Cena again. The whole "you can't see me" ready. The Rock
I
King.
need it, man. Here's what I will say in Milroe's first debut. This is what bothered me about it. I thought he did really good, but we know, especially when he was in Alabama that last year there when Coach Kalen DeBoer
That
came in,
was rough.
it was. But something that Milroe was good. It was two things. The offense could do two things. They could either lean on him to use his legs, or he made big plays down the field with that cannon of an arm that he has. I
Yeah.
really want to see him push the ball further down the field in this game now because the last outing that we saw Milroe he didn't take any deep shots. I like the fact that he was able to hit crossing routes and they set up some screens and he was able to hit some,
Hmm.
plays in the middle of the field. But Milroe's bread and butter when it comes to his arm is to throw it 80,000 yards downfield and hit a guy on a dime in the corner of the end zone. And that's
The
what I hope we
Milroe
get to see
miracle
this
right there,
Saturday.
man.
Yes,
It's gonna be the Milroe
yes, fourth
miracle.
and 31 to
I
Isaiah
mean,
Bond. Crazy play. Auburn had Bama beat. They were beat.
and it's just that Alabama. Something about the water in Alabama when those players come to the NFL, man. Like it's like they've been in the pros for like their whole entire life. Like they were
I
born
agree.
with the bottle and the professional jersey on, and they were set from day one, man. So I mean, it's gonna be exciting to watch him. It's gonna be exciting to see how he does. He did great in college. I hope he has a great future in the NFL.
Absolutely.
And then another big news too. So we just got Charles Cross back from his finger surgery. He's expected to start this weekend, so that's a big thing coming in. The running back group, they're going to be under evaluation with players. They're fighting for those roster spots, man. There's a lot of roster spots, a lot of critical plays have to happen in order for them to show that Seahawks coming back. I mean, they
There's
didn't.
there's a ton of starting battles going down or trying to get those positions to get in on the positions to make the starting roster. And I'm pretty sure you're going to touch on this one next, but once we move to Cleveland, I got some words.
Oh, bro, Cleveland Browns, man. Now, I know during the draft, I was giving you crap because you were talking about Sanders being drafted so late. And I remember saying, no, he's not going to be as good as he was in college. It was all hype. But, man, I am taking those words back. I'm ready to put a Shadar Sanders jersey on. F the Cowboys, bro. I was pro Cowboys. I was pro Bills. Now I'm pro Shadar Sanders, man. I am a believer. He is him.
Listen, here's my biggest argument with those guys, man. I had to take notes about this because I have been a big advocate for Shador Sanders. So here we go. As far as we know, Shador Sanders is fourth on the depth chart, right?
Right?
I'm gonna give you these quarterback numbers, and you tell me which quarterback would you want starting for you? If you're about to go out and lead a team, you tell me what you want your quarterback's performance to be. Do
All
you
right,
want your
hit me.
quarterback to be 13 of 18 completions to attempts, He passed for 143 yards. His average attempt was 7.9 yards. His passing touchdowns to interception ratio was 0 to 1. That interception being a pick six. There was also a botched handoff at the mesh point, which led to a fumble. And his passer rating was 72.2, and he had 1 rushing yard. That's option one. That's quarterback A. That's your first. That's your first one. Here's your
Okay.
second one. 14 of 23 completions to attempts. 138 passing yards, 6 yards average, 2 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 106.8 passer rating, and they had 19 rushing yards. Which quarterback are you taking?
I'm going to option number 2.
That's Shedeur Sanders. That's Shedeur
I'm
Sanders.
telling you,
The
man.
the
He's
number
him.
one thing he is, man, and the number one thing coaches say, especially when a person is playing quarterback position, which is the most important position, especially on offense, probably in the entire team, I would argue. Coaches always harp on the fact that you have to protect the ball. You have to protect the ball. Don't turn over. You don't have to go out and win the game, but don't lose us the game. If ball security
Totally
is
agree.
the number one, it's the 11th commandment when it comes to bringing in football. It's the 11th commandment. Thou
Mm-hmm.
shalt not thou shalt not turn over the ball. Thou shalt
Preach.
protect thy ball. So how
Preach,
can we
man.
sit here and say that Dylan Gabriel did a better job than Shador? Even if you're just a casual fan and you're watching it, the eye
Yep.
test alone will tell you, hey, against the Panthers, Shador Sanders looked really good.
He
Against the
did.
Eagles, Dylan Gabriel wasn't terrible. The Eagles are just a solid team.
They
They are
are.
the defending Super Bowl champs. They are a solid team, and that they're going to be even better now that they got John Mechie coming. So,
Well, hell,
which by
man.
the
What?
way, the Eagles is just a professional SEC team made up of 90% of
Oh.
Alabama and Georgia players.
I mean, you got Jalen Hurts get bench press, what, like 90, 900 pounds is what someone said? That's what
Yeah,
it seems like, man.
he squatted 800 or 900 pounds, man. Ridiculous. That's your
Yeah.
quarterback. That's your quarterback doing that. So if we're going off the eye test, just the eye test alone, watching it, Shador
Yeah.
Sanders still did a better job. And in particular, there's one play. It was a 2nd and 12. The pocket kind of collapses, but the O-line collapsed the rush to his left. He rolls out of the pocket, and could have Shador taken off and ran for it? He probably could have, but he threw an
Mm-hmm.
absolute dime on 2nd and 12, one-handed catch. I mean, come on. Are we really sitting
Telling you,
here
man,
saying,
you got to show
are
it's
we,
time.
are we really sitting here and saying that Dylan Gabriel is the better quarterback right now? Maybe I'm taking crazy pills. Please help me out here, Bad. Let me know if your boy's going crazy.
You're not going crazy, man. Dylan Gabriel, I got respect for the guy, much love for the guy, but Shadar Sanders, bro, from what he did in Colorado from day one when he got there and made a laughingstock out of almost every team they played. Yes, he had his moments. Yes, he was cocky, but he was a solid quarterback. You knew he was going to go out there. You knew he was going to make the plays. He was going to make the completions. He was the guy. He was going to be the quarterback at the draft, but for some reason, he slid so far down the line, and there's still no explanation for it. And I don't remember where it was. I think it was ESPN where they said the owner of the Browns was against taking Shador. The
Yes.
only they only took him because it was the coach that said I
Yeah.
want a Shador. I
Yeah.
don't get it, man. And they're going to put Old Man Flacco as a starter over Shador.
I'm not against Flacco starting. I'm not. I'm
Oh,
not.
come
I
on, Matt.
watched it.
No, don't do that to me. Don't do that
Listen,
to me,
listen, man.
Matt.
I have to be honest with y'all. Listen to an interview with Joe Flacco. He's a veteran. He's grizzled. He's got a lot of experience. He is
He's a
not a terrible
bum.
quarter.
He's a
He
bum.
he is 40 years old. I will say that he is 40. But
He was
nonetheless,
sitting, he was literally sitting on his dad's couch in the basement. The Giants, whoever needed a quarterback because they sucked. Who do they call? Joe Flacco. What happened to the rest of the season? They sucked, Matt. Come
I
on.
mean, correlation doesn't mean causation. Like let's. But it wasn't a good look. I'll definitely admit that it wasn't a good look. I can admit
It
that. But
wasn't.
everything that I see about Shador Sanders, I just watched some practice footage early before we started the show. He started practice off with a touchdown pass, a deep
Oh,
like
yeah.
a bomb.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Am I okay with Joe Flacco starting? Yeah, that doesn't mean that if he starts, he's going to keep the starting position because there's very
No.
much a chance that he starts and then by week 3 he's riding the bench. That is
Yeah,
what
because
it
he's
is.
broken. because
But it,
he lost his handicap placard. He had to walk the whole length of the
oh
parking lot,
my,
and he was
you,
tired by the time he got to the locker room. Matt,
why do you hate on Joe Flacco so
Joe
bad?
Flacco, if somehow Joe Flacco, you're watching this, I hope The Rock finds you and gives your candy ass a smackdown. I hate you. Hate's a strong word, Bat. It's a strong word, but I can
It's a
literally say
very strong word.
I cannot stand him. Even my wife. My wife doesn't get it. I just cannot stand Joe
You know what I'm
Flacco.
gonna do? I'm gonna go get a doll made, and I'm gonna say, hey,
I'm
touch,
good.
point to this doll where Joe Flacco hurt you.
Oh, he
Point
hurt
on
me
this
right
doll.
here.
With,
He hit me right here, Bat. Right here. I feel
oh
like
my
I need to go to
goodness,
like a witness protection program because he touched me in the no-no spot. That's how
man,
much I hate Joe Flacco.
I, listen, Joe Flacco, we're sorry.
No.
Like,
No,
man,
we're not. You're a
okay,
bum. You're
never
a
mind. I take
bum.
it back. We're not sorry. I gotta have my battles back. I got his sticks. But just know, like, I don't hate you. But if my battle
But
says you're a bum, then we
but
gotta go with it. Dang,
but
poor
no,
Joe
man. But
Flacco, man.
no, poor Joe Flacco. He's making $1 million to throw freaking interceptions and like hit like the retirement center, and he's done during practice throughout the week. Man, he's sitting on grandma's right now. How do you feel
Well,
about that one?
okay. So then, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. What happens then if Joe Flacco goes out there and balls out week one, just balls out? Then what happens?
I still hate you, Joe.
Okay, fair. Okay, all right. You're a
I
straight shooter, and I can't fault you for that.
I
Jeez.
just want to see your ACLs become mine.
Oh my goodness, man. This is. I'm over here
It's
tearing up.
unhealthy. Bat,
Oh
bat.
man, I'm tearing
I'm
up.
telling
I'm
you, but
tearing up.
it's an unhealthy hatred towards Joe Flacco. Just his
I
name,
feel it. I feel it
Flacco.
coming through my ear. I feel it coming through my earbuds. I feel hate in the room right now. I feel it.
Oh man.
Smells like hate in the air.
Oh man. I'm
Goodness
ready to go buy a
gracious.
ticket to one of their games, put a ski mask on, somehow get on the field with that with that tire iron and take it to his knee.
So you're gonna
Just so the
Nancy
man can
Kerrigan?
play.
You're gonna Tanya Harding Nancy Kerrigan? Joe
I
Flacco?
am. I am. And then I'm gonna be like,
Oh my
you know
god.
why. You know why. Now watch. So this is gonna happen to Joe Flacco. It's gonna be from an incredibly handsome, chubby dude. And then we're
Oh
gonna
my
watch this
goodness.
podcast and say it was me.
You know who that did happen to? What team that did happen to? Where somebody snuck on the field and hit them with a crowbar?
Who's that?
The team that the Bears blew out. Jesus. Let me tell you
Jesus,
something.
man.
I said this earlier. They needed to call a 9-line medevac in that game. They needed to
You
shut that
did.
down and call a 9-line medevac. They needed some
Oh
help. Those
man.
boys needed some help. I'm not here to
What's
hype up the
going on?
Bears. I'm not hyping up the Bears, but I
The
can tell you right
Bears.
now, man, that defense, I know it's preseason and I know it doesn't really mean anything, but if that defense is an indicator of how they're going to play in this season, that's going to be a solid defense. That's going to be a really solid defense. They were fast, they were physical, they
I
were hitting hard, and they were creating turnovers and creating havoc. They looked
that
bad in a good way,
if
like Michael Jackson bad. Not like how he looked
but
bad in It Is Light, but like who's
he was
bad?
like they were like doing the Thriller on the field over the Bills, man. I mean, if painting your fingernails makes you as good as the Bears, I'm gonna start painting my fingernails for every quiz at school, man.
Yeah,
It was a straight down murder. Like there isn't a chance, there wasn't a maybe. I watched the first quarter and I said, "Game's over. That's it. There is no coming back for the Bills." And I'm seriously shocked. I am worried for the Bills because they're such a contender every season for what the last 10 years. Is that how long Josh Allen's been in the league for?
I believe so. Yeah.
Ever since then, they have been a contender in the Super Bowl. Like they beat the Ravens. They they beat Action Jackson Lamar, right?
Yeah.
But you can't beat the Bears. It's the Bears.
Listen,
Like
I don't know what those boys in Chicago are doing, but that defense looks stout.
hopefully none of the starters from the Bills get injured, where we have to play with the secondary players that play this last weekend.
Yeah,
Like
don't do that to the don't wish that on them. This is like Ricky
right?
Bobby. Don't put that hex on me. Don't put that hex on me.
No. It was like Joe Flacco was playing for the Bills all of a sudden. Like he was
Oh
playing every single
my goodness.
position
You
there was
let Joe
on that
Flacco. We
field,
already put
man.
it to bed. If whoever's watching this is going to be like, man, this dude really hates Joe Flacco.
I
I
do.
promise I'm gonna get
I
something
really
made.
do.
I'm gonna get something made, and I'm gonna just be like, point to this where Joe
Like
Flacco hurt you in your feels. Where's it at?
Oh, bad. I'm just all over, man. It is
I'm
all
gonna
over.
have to.
Just
I'm gonna
like
have to, man, because you are not letting this go. You are
I'm
not
not.
letting this go.
But you know what else is not going to happen?
What?
The Chiefs aren't going to beat the Bears.
They're
The
not.
Chiefs, they're not. And like it's preseason, all right. Preseason's supposed to be the part of the football where it doesn't matter. It's all practice games. Joe Flacco's an incredible player of the fucking league. Excuse my language. But but still, to be like a high team like the Bear or for the Bills and the Chiefs, you need
Hmm.
some wins. You need to show your fan base that you're gonna be good. Especially coming off that Super Bowl loss where Mahomes looked like the Bears should have looked last weekend. I
You
mean,
know that. First off, that Super Bowl was just tough. The Eagles were definitely. I felt very confident the Eagles were going to win that Super Bowl. And there's a picture of Jalen Hurts like looking at the monitors,
mhm,
and he's seeing everybody pick the Chiefs, and he's just kind of like,
yeah,
okay, I hope you didn't put your money on it. And then what
yep,
happened? They just went out there and steamrolled them. They went out there and
yep.
played a hell of a Super Bowl game. That was a wild game to watch, me. Something else I want to touch on, another preseason game that I watched and it already happening. It already came and went. The 49ers and the Raiders. That was probably one of the most
Ooh.
entertaining games I've watched. And that walk-off field goal by Moody,
Oh my god, dude. Right?
that is that is what, to me, that's football. That's two teams battling out, exchanging blows, not backing down from either one of them, taking their opponent's best shot and still coming back for more. And then Moody comes out there and just hits swagged out and hits the long, like this crazy long field goal and just walks off like it was a regular day at the office. That was impressive. That was
Yeah.
probably that was the most entertaining game I watched so far preseason, was the 49ers versus the Raiders. That was an
Yep.
incredible game.
It was. And just the history that goes between those two teams from being in the Bay Area and now one team's in the Bay. I mean, that hatred and the legacy between those two teams who won those games is never going to end, man.
So true.
That was a very entertaining game. Oh man. So do you think the Chiefs cheat? Come on. You tell me.
I don't think the Chiefs cheat, man, but I can tell you this.
It's because you're a Flacco supporter. That's why you think that.
Oh, I just don't hate the man. I just don't hate him. I just don't hate him. I'm sorry. I mean, I hate him because I gotta have my battle sticks, but I mean, Joe Flacco ain't never personally done anything to me. So you can get hit
He
by
knows
lightning or
he
you
knows
can
what he
hit the
did.
lotto. Either way, I'm cool
He
with it.
knows what he did. He
Okay, he
knows.
knows, and he knows, and he knows, Joe
He
Flacco. We
does
know
know.
what you did.
He does know. So when
You
that
know
masked
it's like,
man,
I know what you did last summer. I know what you did to my battle vigil. Like, I know, I'm here, man. I got you. I got you. I got your
but no,
back.
man, no, like watching the Chiefs play these last two games, I'm kind of going on the thing like maybe they did cheat, maybe they did pay the refs off, and now with all eyes on the refs this season and not being able to pay that money out and seeing how they really play,
Yeah.
maybe it was just all deep pockets that got those Super Bowl championships. And
Something
don't
I
get me
wanna
wrong,
go ahead.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
I said, don't get me wrong, Mahomes might be almost as good as Shadar Sanders. I'll say that, but he's no Shadar Sanders.
Fair.
I rest my
Uh,
case.
but Shador definitely needs to win a few Super Bowls before we start,
Oh, he's going
really
to.
make.
He's going to.
I believe he
Because,
will. This is just a situation where I have to, like, I don't think that he can't win it. He just hasn't done it yet because he hasn't even really played. This is his first year. He hasn't even played a regular season game yet. But something I want us to do in one of our later shows is me and officiating, the hate, the disdain you have for Joe Flacco. I have the same thing for officiating from the NFL
yes.
to the NCAA, because
Yes.
from week in to week out, from game to game, I can watch a game at big noon kickoff, and then I can watch the premier game at night, and I can see targeting happening in one
Yep.
game and go, I don't think that's targeting, and it gets targeted. And then you see something happen in the next game, and you don't think it's targeting, and they get called for targeting. I don't understand what the officials are doing anymore, what the officiating is, but that's something I definitely want us to touch on another show, because what in the world is happening with
Yeah.
officiating
Yeah.
and
It's super bad,
football?
man. It's super bad. Like you do see that in every game, and then even in the same game, you'll see it. Like watch like the past Chief games. They'll do like a face mask on the QB for like with Josh Allen when they played in the playoffs.
Hmm.
But then they'll do the same thing against Mahomes and they'll throw the flag, and they won't throw for Allen. So I mean,
Man,
it's just
you're on it right now. You you got those conspiracy theories going, man, and
oh,
I'm
I'm
here
telling you,
for it.
man.
I'm here
I'm
for it.
telling you, there's a lot that goes on here with conspiracy.
I remember earlier we said this isn't your grandpa's podcast, and my response to anybody is going to be, well, your grandpa didn't have a podcast; they had Telegram, so this ain't your granddaddy's
They
Telegram
did,
show.
they did, and you know what? My granddaddy also went to college with Joe Flacco. You bum. You know what's gonna happen, man? People are gonna watch this and be like, What is wrong with this guy?"
We're only going to be known for you hating Joe Flacco.
they
We're
we
only going to
are
be known for you hating Joe Flacco.
we are Bat. Like when he gets
No one is gonna care about anything else we say. We can agree with some of the most egregious things that have been said in football,
mm-hmm.
especially in college with that crazy AP top 10. But nobody's gonna
Oh,
care. The only thing anybody's gonna remember from this show is that you hate Joe Flacco.
I can't
That
stand it,
is deep.
man.
That hate runs deep, man. That's
Joe
like a
Flacco.
rivalry.
just just the way that it just rolls off your tongue. Flacco. It was that what's that insurance commercial?
Uh, oh my goodness. I'm literally having a headache right now because you and this Joe Flacco hate is blowing my mind right now. It is blowing my mind right now. We're gonna have
you
to,
know what?
you know what, later on we're gonna have to get some sort of meter that represents him or something to show how much hate you have for something that happens
Oh,
in the
I
world
hope
of
so.
sports because
Hopefully there's someone that watches this that knows someone that knows someone that knows someone, and it gets to him that this little podcast that just started hates him.
I
Wishes
don't
ill
know,
on
that's not,
him.
I want the opposite of that. I don't want him to see it at all.
Hey,
I don't
who
want
knows? Maybe he'll come on the show and not even like, "You're a bum." Mic
that.
drop.
That would be so terrible. Then Joe Flacco would probably he's got the means to fly to your house and try to fist fight you in your front yard. Joe Flacco gonna pull up with everybody.
Bring it on. Bring it on, man. I had to learn combatives. I learned how to choke a man
Oh,
out with
little dramatic. She got your little diamond up to catch the
yeah.
punch.
Got combatives behind my belt, Bat. I'm not scared to choke out a senior citizen, Joe
Oh my
Flacco.
gosh, man! Listen, we're gonna have to talk about combatives at one point because I have one of the most funniest combative stories of all time. We probably can't get into it now, but later on, man. Just remind me AIT and combatives, and I
Oh
got
man,
you.
AIT, Matt, where they like knock your ass out, but it's totally okay because you're there for training. You're there to learn
Yes.
how to kill a man, so
Yes,
they're gonna knock
yes.
you out.
You're learning how to defend yourself and kill somebody. So let me beat the fire out of you for 5 minutes, so you know
And
how
then
it feels.
and then when you get knocked out, they just pick you up. And you're just like, and you're still gotta defend your
Listen,
life in that cage,
I
man.
was so lucky when I was doing that when we were going through for that certification because I mean I had already like previously boxed and stuff like that. But man, when I went, my first round was really good. But man, when I went through that second round, I got put up against this sergeant major, and I'm only like 5'6", 5'7". Man, this sergeant major was like maybe 5'5", and I put my arms up, and the second they said go, I just shoved his little behind. I mean, I shoved him as
Oh
hard as
man.
I could, and when he bounced off the back of the cage, I just ran up and bear hugged him and seatbelt and then put my face away from his and was like, got him. And that was it. But at the end of it, they were like, sometimes you just got to bum rush opponent. Ain't that right? And he pointed to me. I was like, yeah. I wasn't finna get in there and fight with you, little cock diesel built like Mighty Mouse. No, I
Oh.
ain't trying to get in there and go round for round with you. I shoved that little dude so hard. I know he was a sergeant,
Oh.
but I don't care. Rank goes out the
You're
window when you up there fighting. I shoved that
you're
dude
my
so hard, man, it just ran up to him. I'm talking about the moment he bounced back. I held him and like I was giving my mama a hug, like, he went for to punch me, man. I don't like getting hit in the face. So I did good when it came to that type of stuff. But I got a crazy story. I got a funny story about that next time.
You know what, man? One of these days we gotta do crazy stories in the military. We gotta bring on Singleton.
That is,
You know we do.
he did some of the most ridiculous stuff. And I loved every second of it. It was hilarious.
he
But
is
I did not have the cojones to do that myself. Not
he is
even remotely close.
he's the only private I know that was in basic training that decided to smoke a cigarette, look at the drill sergeant dead in the face, and go, "What's up, Bat?" And then take another drag of the cigarette when we're supposed to be lights out, and he's like
He
outside the
was a character.
barracks.
He's a character. I'll put
Oh
it like that.
man.
He's a character. For people who don't know, we got plenty of stories. He was a
Mm-mm.
character, a
Oh,
character.
Singleton. Oh, that guy, man. I hope he's watching because you know why? He has the same hatred I do
Oh
for
my
one man
goodness.
in the world.
I wasn't even going to say it, but I knew you were going to bring us full circle and bring it back to Joe Flacco. I just
Oh no,
felt it in myself.
I was talking about Bruin.
Oh, okay, then yeah. I'm not just going to say he had hate for Joe Flacco. I was like, dang, maybe something really did happen with Joe.
All right, Matt. Well, let's take a break and we'll come back and we'll talk some college ball.
Sounds good. Let's do it. I got some words.
Or, oh, so do I about Flacco. All right, we'll be back in a minute.
All right, we're good to go. Okay. So now that we've stopped our hate for Joe Flacco and we're moving on to
There's
brighter
no stopping
we're
it.
moving on to brighter topics. So the first things first, I have been dying for college football. Dying for college football. And although week 1 starts next week, officially college football kicks off.
Let's
Week
go.
0
Let's go.
this Saturday, we have a ranked matchup, the number 17 team versus the number 22 team in Iowa State versus Kansas State. This is going to be a big game. They follow the NFL model. I think this is the second year in a row now that they've gone and played a game overseas where a college team went and played overseas. I'm pretty sure last year it was Georgia Tech that did the same thing. But this is going to be a big game. It's going to be Rocco Beck versus Blake Barnett. And I think those are going to be two really good quarterbacks going at it. If I had to pick though, I'm going with Rocco Beck. I'm a Rocco Beck fan. I think Rocco Beck is very underrated. And when Rocco Beck gets moving, he heats up, he can cause a lot of havoc. He can beat you through the air or he can beat you on the ground. I I think Iowa State wins that game. I like the +3.
Yeah.
What about you, Bat?
I'll follow you on that one, Bet. I think I'm going to go with you on what you say, Bet. And the reason I'm going with you is because you know more about college football than I do. Just being honest on that one.
Okay, so even if that's the case, something that you do follow though is the AP ranking because with you being a Longhorn fan, we've got to talk about this top
Let's
10.
go,
We got to
baby.
talk about this top
Let's
10.
go.
Oh yes, I've got words for this top 10. I let me
Yeah.
get to my notes real quick. Okay. So first things first, I used to not believe this way. Get those dang horns off the. I'm gonna have to be honest
Hey,
with
don't
you.
hate. Hey, didn't Alabama see this a lot when they played?
Yeah, but Alabama took the dub.
And they're
We
stadium,
we took a dub in
but so,
your stadium. We took a dub in ours. It's we're 1 for 1 right now. Okay, we're 1 for 1. Don't start this. Don't you start this.
uh, all right, go
Here's
ahead.
here's
Go
here's
ahead.
what I have to say about this. Where's the respect for the defending national champs? Shouldn't the defending national champs be the number 1 team in the country? Because if we're basing
Saban
it off
left.
of what we can't base it off what you're going to do. That's why it's a preseason poll. So if we're going
Right.
preseason, the last thing we saw, the last game we all watched in college football was Ohio State win a national championship. So the Ohio State
Very true.
Buckeyes should preseason, because we don't know what's going to happen, should be number 1. You have to respect the
They
defending
should
champ.
be.
Even even if
They really
even
should
if the
be.
program crashes and burns and they start at number 1, they end the season unranked, which I know is blasphemy and sacrilegious to some Ohio State fans. So it is. I'm just saying it's a hypothetical. But did you just do the
Just throwing it in there, Bet.
let
I'm throwing it in there. I don't know all about the ranks, but I know the moves.
listen? All I'm saying is you should show respect to the defending national champs. Ohio State could finish the season
Yeah.
ranked 10th, but they should at least start off ranked first because they won. They played, I want to say, what, 17 games? You played 17, 16, 17 games? That's a long, grueling season. Give them their respect and just make them number 1. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to crush anybody's programs. It's not like the season's over now. It hasn't even begun. But the defending national champs should at least get the nod and say, okay, yeah, they're the number 1 team in the country. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah. I do agree. First of all, the eyes of Texas are upon everybody
Oh
right now.
my goodness.
But Ohio State, they have been a really good team for a really long time. Texas, they've been a good team. Then Vince Young graduated. Then we were just Texas, man. We weren't in the talking and going to the playoffs. We weren't in the talking and winning Natty. Then we won the Sugar Bowl. What was it, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
And it was, oh, Texas is back. And then we were back to sucking. Now we're back to winning, finally. And we had the chance of going to the Natty last season. We did pretty good in the playoffs. even though ASU almost killed us,
Yeah,
but we still did
that was a
good.
way more challenging game than I thought it was going to be. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did
But
not think Scatterboo was going to give Texas that many problems.
oh
I
man,
didn't.
Scat, bro,
Here's the thing, man. Um,
it's that big head of his,
he's like a Mack truck, dude. And you know
dude.
he's the number one player on their offense. He was the number
Mm-hmm.
one generating like offensive weapon that Arizona State had. So why not make sure that you always know where he is at on the field at all times? I mean, he didn't just run the
Exactly.
ball. He was running, he was coming out doing wheel routes, which for some reason is the craziest thing for people to defend in college football. And that's screaming at the TV every single Saturday, watch the wheel route.
Yeah,
And Cam Scatterboot went off in that game, and Texas might have won,
he
but
was
Texas
carrying
limped out of
defenders
that
down the
game.
field.
They limped
He
out of
was
it.
carrying defenders down the field.
Yes, yes. I don't get it.
I mean, I don't get why he went so far in the draft. Like
Uh,
Cowboys, what were you thinking?
they weren't.
That's all I'm gonna say on
They
that
weren't.
one.
I guess they weren't.
But uh, but no, man. But yeah, so there's been a lot of challenges as a Texas fan to like really sit there and say we deserve that number one spot. I think it should be Ohio. I'm going to say it. I don't know why I'm going to say it because everyone else that loves Texas is going to kill me. They're going to call me a bandwagon. But when you have
It's called being objective,
a
people. It's called
program,
being objective.
it is. It's very objective. Like those of you that love a certain NFL quarterback. I'm not going to say his name in this segment, but Ohio's had a great program, and everyone fears Ohio. Like any team they play, like oh shit, Ohio's got this hands down.
Yeah.
Texas, that's what I'm going to
I
say.
don't know, man. So I will say this. One, I got so tired of hearing Texas is back. It drove me insane. From like 15 years ago to present, it drove me insane because the moment Texas wins a big game, then some people are like, Texas is back. And I'm like, well, you're not because you have to win this. But this is what I will say. I think that's going to be a clash of titans. And
Yeah.
the big thing that I think people are overlooking, which one, I know Julian Sayin, who former 5-star kid, won the Elite 11, was actually at Alabama. Coach Saban retires. He leaves and gets in the transfer portal window, goes to Ohio State, and now he was named the starter.
R.I.P. Saban.
For real, man. I missed the GOAT. But you know what? I have a lot of confidence in Coach DeBoer. I'll believe in him until he gives me something or a reason not to. But Julian Sand won the quarterback competition. I don't think it's over. I think Luke Keenholz is still pushing to try to get that starting spot because from what all the camp intel I read and from all the videos I watched, this was like a legit quarterback battle. And so these are two perennial powerhouses that are easily part of the top dogs in their respective conferences, and they're each breaking in a new quarterback at the same time. And the last thing I'll
Yeah.
say about this is the last SEC team that went up there and went to the shoe, it did not end so well for Tennessee fans. It did not. I mean, Tennessee fans were talking about how they were going to GPS tearing down the goalpost and go throw it somewhere in the river, and how they were going to take over the state of Ohio, and then they left with their tail between their legs because the Buckeyes beat them like they owed them money. So either way,
One thing I do know about.
go ahead.
Go ahead. So one thing I do know about SEC fans, no goalpost is safe.
Yeah, no goalposts are safe. All goalposts matter. There we go. Got it.
Oh, there you go.
All
There you
goalposts
go.
matter.
All goalposts matter. Hashtag.
Yeah. The reality of the situation is that Texas could go up there and lose and still go compete and win the SEC.
Okay.
Ohio State could lose and still compete and win the Big Ten. In both scenarios, your playoff dreams, goals, and aspirations are still very much alive. Now, does it make it more challenging because now you already have a loss on your schedule? Yeah, it sucks, and no one wants to lose. But if you're going to lose early. You want to lose before you get into conference play. You want to, you got to, and I don't think the committee, although I have my feelings about how teams get ranked and how they are, what algorithm they use. I don't even understand why we need a committee, but nonetheless, I have a lot of faith in either team. I wouldn't be surprised if Texas wins. I wouldn't be surprised if Ohio State won. These are going to be two big programs that are each breaking in brand new quarterbacks. The only reason I feel like Texas is getting a lot of hype, and we're about to touch on it right now, but it's because of Arch Manning. It's Arch Manning.
I was just going to bring that up. I was just going to bring up what you thought about Arch Manning. Because like I told you the other day, man, I think the only reason, don't get me wrong, he's a great quarterback for as young as he is, for the way he came into Texas. But I think the reason that he is number one right now for the Heisman is because of his name. I'm just throwing it out there.
Think about it this way: if Arch's last name wasn't Manning, but it was Jones,
I
will
don't think he'd be
will
in
we
the
be
room.
saying the same amount of? Will he still be receiving the same amount of hype? We probably be talking about, oh man, is he going to be able to live up to the standard? I get he was a number one quarterback
Exactly.
in his class, and I do feel that Arch Manning is going to be an above average quarterback. He might even turn out to be an elite quarterback. I just don't see him winning it, being a Heisman frontrunner
No.
in year one, starting in the SEC.
Nope.
No one's saying
He
Julian.
had a
No
lot of
one's
trouble.
out here outside of Ohio State saying that Julian Sain is going to win the Heisman. No one's saying Ty Simpson
No.
is. Well, Ty Simpson is really in the same boat because he's not a freshman like, but this is his first season starting. No one's saying that about Gunnar Stockton in Georgia. No one. That's not being said. In my opinion, the person who should really be talked about that was left out of the conversation, and people may laugh at this, but I think DJ Lagway and Lenore Sellers should be talked about. DJ Lagway, the kid is he as long as he stays healthy and starts for Florida for the Gators, he's going to do great things. Lenore Sellers over there starting at South Carolina for Coach Beamer and those Gamecocks. I think those are two guys that really should be considered. And if I had to pick between the two, I'm taking Lagway. DJ Lagway is a game changer. That kid saved
Yeah.
Coach Napier's job last year. We watched they go Florida rattle off 8 wins, and the talk went from Coach Napier was on the hot seat till we switched to a completely different subject and no one even mentioned it anymore. I just don't understand why Arch Manning is getting this much hype and the season hasn't started yet. He hasn't started a game yet, and he is starting off his campaign at Ohio State going against the defending national champions. That is a
He had
tall
problems against
task.
Georgia. I mean, look what he did against Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia ran him over.
Yes.
He looked like a JV football player playing in that Georgia game. But
I expect him to improve. I do expect him to be improved. That was once that's Georgia. And Georgia, since Coach Smart has got there, he's got those dogs barking. And rightfully so. They can beat their chests as loud as they want to. They rattled off 2 national championships back to back. But goodness gracious, man. When they were in
yeah,
that game, I know you have you seen the picture where him and Quinn Ewers were sitting on the sideline during that game, and they both just looked like a deer in headlight on the sideline. They're both just because
well,
it's a
I mean
fierce defense.
that's their
It's a
face.
fierce defense. How do you think he's going to
I said
look
that's
now,
going.
man? How is he going to look now? You're going to go on the road to the
He's
shoe?
gonna look just like. Oh man,
Well, okay, let me.
he's gonna look like he did with Gwen. Look around this face. So they're just like,
Although Quinn Ewers looks really good at Miami right now, he looked really good. I watched this game. He looked
yeah.
really good. But you being the resident Texas fan, you being the Longhorn fan, how do you feel? Do you think Texas is going to win, or do you
I,
think the Buckeyes are going to
I
get
think
them?
Ohio is. I think the Buckeyes are gonna get them because there's so much hype in Texas right now, and I've noticed when there's that much hype in Texas, that's when they choke. They don't perform when the hype is on them. That's exactly what happened in the playoffs. That's what happened the year before and the year before that.
So if you had to
They
rank
get a
Texas,
big head.
where would you rank Texas? They have to be in the top
I would
10.
put
They have to
Texas.
be in the top 10.
I would put them in the top 10. I would put them in the top 10, and they would be 10.
They'd be 10th?
That would be the number. They would be 10th.
Okay.
There's so many more great teams and programs above them.
Probably, I don't know, which is so odd because I'm me being the resident Bama fan. I'm ranking Texas higher than you're ranking them right now. Bama's at 8th. I'd probably would put Texas maybe 6 or 7. Man, I'd probably put Texas in my top 5 if I'm being perfectly candid. I'd probably put Texas maybe at 5th. But I'll tell you a team that's up there that I am very baffled and that's Penn State. I'm very baffled
That's
that Penn State is
overrated,
put
man.
second. On top of being put second, some people actually have Penn State winning the national championship.
Here, I'll start right now. Overrated.
Chime in, everybody at home. Here's my thing, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to drag Penn State. I don't. But here's the thing: just because you haven't done it doesn't mean you can't do it. Coach
Yeah.
Franklin just hasn't done it yet. But here's my issue with Coach Franklin, and here's my not even with Coach Franklin, but here's my issue with people ranking Penn State second or even win a national championship because we can agree that we use the past as an indicator of what might happen in the present, right? Or what might happen in the
Right.
future. Excuse me. Here's Coach Franklin. I want everybody to understand this. Coach Franklin is the head coach at Penn State Nittany Lions. Coach James Franklin is 16-28 against ranked teams. That means teams that are just in the top 25. He is
Mhm.
4 420 against top 10 teams. That is 2%. 2% of the time you might pull off the upset. If you are going to put a team that is 4-20, their head coach is 4-20 against top 10 opponents, one, that is what you're going to be playing in the playoff, or more than likely going to be teams in the top 10 because you take the top 12 teams. And two, if you're going to say they're going to win a national championship, well, seeing is believing because right now, just based off of your statistics alone, just based off numbers, you are 4-20. 2%. Being 16-28, okay, that puts you at 57%. But being 4-20 against top 10 opponents, yeah, you're at 2%, man. How am I supposed to believe that now all of a sudden you're going to rattle off all these wins and it's just going to come together in this year and you guys are going to go win a national championship? It could happen, but it's highly unlikely. I have to see it in order to believe it. What do you think?
I think they're just going off last season. They're going off last season, saw how far they got, and they think it's going to be the same team. I think that's one thing people think about. They compare the teams they were the prior season, and they think that's going to be the same team coming back for this season. Not realizing how many players you lost in the draft, how many players you lost in the port, and just the team moral all around, man. I don't. I'm not a Natty fan at all. I'm not a Penn State fan. I don't like Penn State, but I don't see them anywhere near the top 10.
Here's what I think. Here's how I feel. I think this is what might be happening. This is just a feeling. But with Jim Knowles, who just
Joe
led,
Flacco has something involved.
huh? Yeah, Joe
Joe
Flacco did
Flacco.
it. That's what it is. Joe Flacco got a hold of this and made the AP top 10. We knew we were on to you, Joe. I think that you're such a nut, man. I think people are accounting for that now that Jim Knowles, who used to be the defensive coordinator at Ohio State, who's now the defensive coordinator at Penn State, and he initiated the call and called Coach Franklin. I think some people are banking that he's just going to have it put together in year one because let's be completely real, that Ohio State defense last year was pretty dang solid. They were pretty damn solid. They
Right.
had a lot of guys
They
coming
were.
back,
They really
and
were.
from in the trenches to their secondary, all the way back to Caleb Downs being on an island by himself or playing safety, they were solid in a lot of places. I feel that some people who are Penn State Nittany Lion fans or just want to gas them up are placing that same type of faith from Jim Knowles in the Penn State Nittany Lions defense and expect them to perform that way. And the issue that I have with it is that you guys haven't recruited the same way that Ohio State has recruited. So even if you were able
Yeah.
to implement that type of defense that you want to run, there's still some disparity between how well Ohio State recruits and how Penn State is recruiting. So maybe they could put it together, but to see it all click and pop in year one, I would be very surprised. I would be very surprised if that happened.
Yeah. But you know what they don't have to do to recruit? They don't have to have Taylor Swift there.
Oh my
The
goodness.
Chiefs do.
Oh my goodness. Uh, there was other things that I wanted to touch on, man, but you know what? I like the fact that we were able to
Well,
talk about Penn State and Ohio State because I think that's going to really be two of the big names in the conference this year. And I know Ohio State's always up there, and Penn State beats the teams they're supposed to be, and then they lose to the teams they're supposed to lose. But if you can win, if Penn State can actually get some really good wins, then I'll be wrong and I'll admit it and wish them well. But I just think the big bad stepdaddy of the conference is still Ohio State, and Ohio State will definitely have their hands full with Texas. I'm personally, if I had gun to my head, I have to pick. I'm picking Ohio State to win. Not a lot of teams
yep.
outside of Michigan can go into the shoe and go get a win like that. And the last SEC
Mm.
team that did it, like I said, was Tennessee. And even though Tennessee fans are going to say we got into the playoff and Bama didn't, you're absolutely right. Two things could be true at once. You still went up there to the shoot and got you behind spanked and sent back home. So I always give the edge to the home team. I always spot them at least 3 points just going off of my own little projections. I think Ohio State gets the dub as long as Julian Sand protects the ball and doesn't throw
Yeah.
any pick sixes or fumbles it. As long as Julian Sand protects the ball, I think Ohio State's going to be fine. I think they do get the dub.
And sadly, I have to agree with you on that. I don't think Texas is ready to go in there right now and get that W.
However,
I think
Texas
they're
can
get
still
their.
bounce back. They can still bounce
They
back.
will bounce
They
back.
can bounce back.
They will bounce, and will choke in the playoffs. I'm gonna say it, man. Like, I want to win that natty. I want to see Texas plastered all over the newspaper the next morning, but I don't see it happening anytime
Well, with
soon
that attitude, it
because
won't.
we're going to choke.
With that attitude,
Hey,
it
that's a
won't.
Joe Flacco attitude, bro.
Oh my God. This is just gonna have to be a
So, what
thing.
do you think? It is. It is. That's my catchphrase, Joe
Yeah.
Flacco. What do you think about ASU not being in the top 10?
Um, Truthfully, I kind of think it's right. If I'm being honest with you,
Really?
I think it's kind of right. I do think Arizona State it should be ranked, but in the top 10, I don't know, man. That's a stretch. Really, the majority of your offense was one guy, and that one guy's gone now. He's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've got some good transfer pieces, and you've the camp intel coming out was the team looked really good and everybody's ready, but every team looks good in fall camp. Not no coach comes out and truthfully, honestly says, "Hey, look, we're going to get our teeth kicked in this year, man. We're banking on next season." No, everybody watches the camps and go, with the exception of Auburn. They they look and say, "Oh, these teams are doing great." I'll take that back, man. I have a friend that I know whose son actually got recruited and goes to Auburn, so I'm gonna reserve my trash talking
Right
until
on.
his son leaves the program. Then I'm gonna go right back to throwing shade. I'm gonna go right back to throwing shade, but I'm not gonna.
You're a better man than me.
I'm not gonna diss. I'm not gonna diss. I'm like I know the kid's dead person. We went to high school together, so I'm not gonna diss the program that his
Okay,
son got
yeah, you
recruited to
can't.
go
You
to
can't.
and play. But just know that the hate will still be there. I'll just make sure to keep it
Oh, of
tasteful. It'll
course.
be tasteful hate.
Of course.
Tasteful hate.
As tasteful's my hate towards Joe.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the last name, but you know what I'm talking about.
We're gonna have to get
No,
you a shirt that says Joe and it says a blank underneath it. I hate Joe blank.
Joe.
We all know who it
Yep.
is. We all know who it is.
Exactly. With his picture on the back.
He's gonna sue. He would sue
He
us
is.
so
He
bad.
is, man. Telling you. Telling you,
Oh my
man. We're
God.
gonna get.
My
We're
head is
gonna get. We're
pounding
gonna
right
get
now,
called by
man.
some lawyers.
He's gonna hate us
We're
so
getting a
much.
call from cease and desist.
He's gonna hate us so much.
He is.
I
He
I hope he
is.
never sees this.
I wonder if I could email him a copy of this.
Don't. We're gonna get canceled before anybody even watches. I mean, you send him a copy of this and somehow it gets to him. 3 days later, we're going to get a cease and desist, and the order's going to be issued to take the video down or to blank out his name. Or every time we mention it, we have to pay him some absurd amount of money. Don't do this to us.
Well, then we'll just call him Schmo
Okay.
Flacca.
Okay. He's Jody back on the block.
But
That's who he is. Jody Black back on the
he
block.
is.
That's who he is.
He is.
That's
He
who. That's
is.
who we'll call.
He's
That's our code. That we'll do that.
I think we should make a segment just called "I Hate Joe Flacco," and we'll just put like the bad stuff of college football and the bad stuff of NFL in that segment.
Well, we need to get it chopped and screwed
Your
and
eyes,
get some music on it so it'll be chopped and screwed.
your face.
So, bro, you hate you. I did not know that hate was this deep. Anybody who watches this,
Oh,
I
bro,
did
it's
not
deep.
know that he had this much hatred for Joe Flacco. We never discussed this at
Hey,
all.
the hatred
It's
used to
real.
be this bad.
It's
It is
real.
real. It is. It's very real, man. But no. I think that ASU they're ranked where they should be, but I also think they shouldn't be ranked just because we had that one good season. I'm telling you, man. Like people get one good season and their hopes get way up here.
Yeah.
Just like a certain quarterback that I'm not going to say his name because I'm done talking about him. They get that one win and they think that's it. We're going to win everything. We're going to be the same team coming back, not realizing you don't have the same guys coming back.
Yeah.
Unless they failed because some of them might have failed from academic probation, but still, you're not getting those guys back.
I agree 100% with what you just said a second ago. Every year, that is a different team. Every year, it's a new team. Your team is constantly changing. You get 1 year with a certain group of guys to get it right. And then once that's gone, now that we have 16 different transfer portal windows, it feels like, now when that season ends, and now even before the season ends, you're losing guys to the transfer portal window. You're losing guys because they're getting ready to prepare for the draft, or guys are sitting out, and then now you got to put in a whole new set of guys. Each year it changes, and each year, once your experience builds up, then it drops back down. Then it builds up and it drops back down. It's like the accordion effect. If Scatterboo came back, if he had like another year eligibility and he was actually coming back, I would say, yeah, I think ASU should be ranked in the top 10 because that guy's he's a huge reason why they were so productive and could move the ball in the first place. But he is gone now. And as much as I want to say that Arizona can keep it going. You need if you don't have a guy who can produce like he just did,
Nope.
then no. I'm gonna still give you a nod because you played a hell of a schedule last year and you played your tails off and you were like a feel good Cinderella story. So I would still rank them. I'd probably put them in the low teens or maybe like the high teens, like 17 or 18, somewhere up in there. But ain't no way I would put them in the top
No.
10 without it being Cam Scatterboo.
No, man, because like if you go back and watch any game from last season, he played the whole entire game. Like I don't think there was one offensive play where he was really out, except for that Texas game where he was puking on the sidelines,
Puking
drinking water, and then
and
coming
came
back
right
in.
back in.
And you knew the minute he was on the field, you knew he was getting the ball. You knew the ball was going to him. It wasn't going to anybody else. And the crazy thing is no one was able to stop that man. And that was ASU. Like they should have just named the team Arizona Scataboos.
And he was drafted so far away. He
Right?
was drafted so low, man. I don't get that. I I don't
Just
understand
like
that
he
at
just like
all.
how he was taking out just like how he was taking out the whole Heisman competition, man.
Even if he
I
didn't get
think
the, I agree that Travis Hunter should have won it. I do.
oh
He
yeah.
was arguably one of the best receivers. He was top three in receivers, and he was one of the top three DBs in the country. You got to give it to the guy. He really is a generational talent. He really is. But Cam Scadaboo
Mm-hmm.
still should have got more love than what he got.
He should have.
Even
He
if you
should have
want to
been
talk
one of the
about their
finalists.
schedule or anything else, I think Ashton Genty got a lot of love. Cam Scadaboo should have got more love. If I'm being real, if I had a chance, I probably would have split it between Travis Hunter and Ashton Genty. But if I have to pick just one, well, I'm giving it to the guy who was top three in two different categories. That's kind of hard to ignore that. You're one of the top three receivers in the
Junior.
country, and you're one of the top three DBs in the country. It's not even an argument. You have to give it to him. He earned it. He didn't take
He's
snaps
like
off.
no. He's like a baby Tyreek Hill, the baby cheetah.
Yeah, he really and Tyreek Hill was in the
Look, I'm
news
like,
too, but we'll get to that on another
yeah,
episode.
Tyreek's in the news.
Something I
Yeah,
did
I
want to
bet.
point out in the top 10 though is when you break them down, there's four from the SEC, three from the Big
Mm-hmm.
Ten, two are from the ACC, and then one is independent in Notre Dame. This is one of those situations where you understand who the big boys on the block are. It's the SEC and the Big Ten. So with all this figuring out how they're going to do the playoff and how it's going to get restructured and how people want automatic bids versus or automatic qualifiers and not having automatic qualifiers, all I'll say is anybody who's a Big Ten fan, you should go slap Tony Petitti. Now I will. I'm not advocating violence, but I would say let your hand have a conversation with the side of his face. I said this jokingly to somebody. I said, oh, at some point, people are going to be happy with it being 12 teams. They're going to increase it to 16. And then I said, you know what? Somebody's going to suggest, well, let's just make it all the top 25 teams. And that's what Tony Petitti is advocating for, a
Nah, no.
24 team playoff.
It doesn't need to be longer. It doesn't need to be longer because before, the way it was, it kept the teams fighting. It kept them fighting, kept them hungry, kept them forcing them to get the
Yep.
wins. Now it's just like, hey, we just have a good season.
Yeah.
We don't have to fight.
I'll,
I mean, they still have to fight, but not as
I'll
hard.
tell you where college football started to go down a drain, at least in my eyes. College football started going down the toilet when the adults in the room said meaningless games. That's when college football started going down the toilet because that's when players started opting out. Because then players were like, oh, well,
Yeah.
yeah, well, if this man says if this adult in the room or if this grown woman who's been covering the sport for 15, 20 years is saying this is a meaningless game, and my parents and my friends and my agent and everybody hears this, well, maybe this is a meaningless game, and maybe I should sit down. Maybe I should just sit out this game and not play. I think that is a terrible that that was a terrible catchphrase that was used. That was a terrible phrase that was used, and it has ruined the sport now. Because every year when something new is added to college football, something gets taken away and it gets mutilated and butchered and then presented to us. The one group of people who always get screwed over, which are the fans, we just have to sit back and take it while the sport just keeps getting butchered and chopped up, and it's all for the love of money. It's all over the love of money. I love
Mm-hmm.
college football,
I
man, but we've got to rein this in and start doing right. Let's do this the right way. We don't need a 24 team playoff. We don't. It's
You know,
unnecessary. When was the
eh,
last time you looked at the final rankings and said, "Oh, you know what? I bet you that number 19 team will give the number 4 team a good run for their money." Not never. Never. No one looked at the
yeah,
bottom of it, and let's say the University of blank, you looked at it and then looked at the number one team in the country and saw that it was Georgia, or Ohio State, or Alabama, or LSU, and went, "Oh, I bet you these guys would give them a run for their money, even though they're the national champs." No, you would not. No, you wouldn't. There's levels to this. College football has never been fair. Why are we doing this now? We're giving out participation awards for everybody. Now we're giving everybody an
excuse my
invite.
language. Excuse my language, but it's pussification of America, Bat.
Oof. Well, like we said, this ain't your granddaddy's telegram.
Yeah,
This
right?
ain't your granddaddy's telegram.
But
Jesus.
I mean, come on, man. Like you said, everyone gets a participation trophy. I mean, it starts in high school nowadays. It's seriously it. Football isn't the same anymore, man. You have NIL deals where high school kids now they're making millions of dollars just to play high school ball and fail freaking math. Then you have the transfer portal where you get to college, you're like, I don't like the way this coach treats me, so I'm gonna go play for a
Yeah.
different coach. It should be the way it used to be, where you're going to go play for Alabama, and that's where you stay when you play for free. You play your heart out. You play for the love of the game to get to the next level. Now these guys are like, I'm going to stay in college for until I'm 44 years old with all the eligibility I can get and make millions of dollars, make more than what my coach is making.
Look, no shot at that. But
It's like the love of the game's gone.
Cameron Rising at Utah playing 32 years of college football, man.
Exactly, man.
Oh,
Exactly. Some of these guys get drafted. I'm like, my God, man, you're almost 40. What? Why are you still in
he was a
college?
professional
Did
college
you serve?
athlete.
Man,
Look, this is where
I
our
don't know.
viewpoints differ. This is where our viewpoints differ because I'm okay with NIL. I think what needs to happen is that NIL should not be used as a recruiting tool, and it's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be a marketing. NIL is supposed to be a marketing opportunity, meaning that you sign with the University of blank, a sponsor, somebody outside unassociated with the university says, "Hey, we think you would be really awesome to promote our gear." So then you sign a deal with them. That's what NIL was supposed to be. The big issue is that from state to state, one state you can't do NIL in high school, but the next state you can. There has to be some
Yeah.
structure with it. And I'm okay if players transfer. That's fine. But if you're going to transfer, then bring back the sit out. You got to sit out. It,
Well, I know
if
that's
you're
how
going
it
to
is here
transfer,
in
go
Arizona, like
transfer.
in
But
high
then give up
school.
some of that eligibility then.
Mm-hmm. So the NIL, like, all right, it might be a good thing, but I think what they should do with it, instead of handing like a 18-year-old kid a check for like $3.5 million to wear a Nike and put in his bank account, I think it should be put like into an account, like a what if account. What if you get like an injury where you can't play ever again? Now you have this money to fall back on. Instead, you're just giving like these kids this huge amount of money and they're just blowing it on stupid shit like a yacht. You know what I mean?
Look, there's a rule when it comes to that. You're worth what anybody's willing to pay you. That's what you're worth whatever someone's willing to pay you. Texas Tech is snapping necks and cashing checks right now, and they're getting more and more
Mm-hmm.
5 stars to commit to the program. So that's fine. If you got it, go do that. But what happens in 5 to 10 years if you haven't seen that return on investment? And I'm somebody who's been writing you these
Exactly.
big checks, and now the kid that I helped you directly recruit because I paid to get him here doesn't start or gets injured and has to sit out a year or doesn't like the coach and then hops in the transfer portal and then leaves. Am I going to sit back and
Mm-hmm.
keep not getting a return on my investment? No. Then what's going to happen? I'm going to go to the GM. I start talking to the GM. Hey, man, you got to get this coach out of here. He just cost me $6
Yep.
million because this kid didn't start. Or the kid went on, he
Mm-hmm.
transferred to a new program and they said he didn't get on with the coaching staff. That's $6.5 million of my money that's gone now because the coach isn't doing his job. And what's going to end up happening is we're going to start prioritizing money and return on investments over actually developing these players and actually trying to go out and compete for your a conference title and go make a playoff one and dare I say even win a national championship. But when you start mixing in money like that, and you're letting these collectives step in and kind of be the hand that is exchanging the cash and is recruiting these kids here, it's going to go off the rockers. And eventually, the people who are writing these checks aren't going to care about the coach just trying to teach, train, mentor these kids, and they're going to kick them out. because they don't like the fact that the
Yep.
coach is being hard on somebody. So now the coach has got to go. Especially let a big name recruit get away. Let a big recruit get away from a program, and that recruit comes out and says, "Hey, it's because I didn't get along with the coaching staff." Even if it's something like, "Oh,
Oh, sure.
they didn't want to use me the way I wanted to be used." Somebody's going to hear that. The person who wrote that check is going to hear that and be like, "Hey, we got to figure this out because he just cost me millions of dollars, and I just help you get this kid to come to our program." Something has to be done about it,
Yeah,
man. Something has to be done
it
about it.
does. It really does. It really does, man. Because you know what's gonna happen to these kids too? They're gonna end up sitting in daddy's basement on the couch and get a phone call one day to come play backup
Oh my
quarterback.
god. That's it. That's the end of the broadcast today, ladies and
I'm not
gentlemen.
throwing names there. Well, we'll be back after this. All right, so that's it for our first episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We hope Joe Flacco doesn't sue us. Spread the
Oh my
love for.
goodness.
Hopefully his ACLs stay together this weekend, so I don't get sued because I jinxed him. And we're actually going to do a live reaction show this Sunday. We're going to have all the details on our Facebook page, so you can check that out. Spread the word, though. Get this thing hot. Get this thing going. Get this thing to Joe.
Absolutely. I wouldn't say give it to Joe, but I was going to
Get it
say
to the
thank you for
Browns.
everybody who watched it. Like, subscribe, please share with a friend and have that friend share that with a friend. And until next time, get in the front lane and rest.
Yep. And Joe. You know what that means, bud. All right. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Peace.